Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back. United Currency Coin and Crypto. I have been out for a while right now. I got a promotion on the job, so I got relocated to South Jersey, which definitely worked out, which is pretty good. We had some issues in the office where we were. One of the gentlemen where we had one day just got up and decided to punch one of my coworkers in the face, and my boss is very upset by that. And a lot of people are basically getting let go right now. One of the guys had an issue with his payment of the VA right now. VA is the Veterans Administration. So he was pretty upset with that and what was going on right now. So it was pretty bad, but we spoke about it, and he is no longer working there. So that office is closed, and they have relocated me to a different office right now until that situation is resolved. For those of you who basically know me, I am a suicide counselor for military veterans here in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York. I volunteer for that, and it is good to basically give back. I've been serving my country for probably say a little bit about 9 years right now in different aspects of it, but I do what I can, and in my spare time, I basically do this, which is pretty good. Update for this as well. I did do some research and looking into some material that was available on Amazon. It was a book on fancy serial numbers. A gentleman who has another YouTube channel had recommended it. And so I found it. It was actually pretty cheap. I thought it would have been like $50 or so, but it was actually pretty cheap. There are free PDF versions of information you can find online, which is good. The gentleman's name is, try to pronounce it, Stubluck Currency, I believe his name is. So I looked at his channel, and he has a lot of good stuff there, which is pretty good. And the one thing I will say is, for everyone out there, my best piece of advice is to definitely do your research, because when you start out with this, looking into fancy serial numbers, sometimes the first things that you see are not the truth. It's advertised to you to get into it, which is good. But at the same time, you still have to do your research about that, which is very important. Again, it's a great thing to get into right now. You guys can have huge collections, but you want to make sure that you're spending your time with it, and also it's valued at the same time there. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over my collection of what I have. This is my collection that I've had here for uh, a bit, probably about a year or so right now. And this is three consecutive pairs. And I keep this right now because I think it's actually pretty cool to definitely find a lot of these serial numbers on the notes. And it's a good hobby to actually have. And it's something you can keep. And if anything, to be honest, you can just keep the bills and actually spend them. But it's good to actually do a bill search. So with my job, I cut half my paycheck. I told you guys about this, and I do a bill search. And I love doing bill searches because, again, you never know what you find. I found a couple binaries in there beforehand. So some of the bills are absolutely pretty cool. Definitely start to look at the series numbers on them as well, which is something that I have had to look at recently right now. Okay. So this video will actually be on three consecutive pair notes. Okay, so I'm going to go over what they are, what to look out for, and the different versions of them here. So I got mines, and what I did is that I actually put each individual bill in plastic, because you want to make sure that the bill is secure. You don't want any rips, any tears. And then I basically just ended up going to Staples. You can go online or Amazon and actually get these thin paper sheets there, and actually just put a white paper between them and keep them there. You want to keep them flat, as good condition as possible right now. You can do it for trading. There's a gentleman I met. He's in the Navy, and he actually uses these when he's playing poker. And I was like, oh, that's actually interesting. He calls them his lucky bills. He basically said that they're not really worth anything, but they give him good luck because he wins a few of his hands. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty good. So some people, again, it's up to you if you want to keep them. Some people believe that there's sentimental value. Some people like the fact that you have cool notes. Again, for me, it's a nice little collection to have, and it's also something to actually share with people. Okay, so let's go over this right now. What are three consecutive pairs? So when you look at a dollar bill here, okay, you're going to end up seeing the actual 8 digits, which are basically here. And what we're looking at is different pairs of digits that are touching. So for example, you have a 3 6 6 9 9 8 8 4. Okay. So you're going to end up having three different digits that are doubles that are touching. Okay, so you have a double six, a double nine, and a double eight. If the four was in here, it wouldn't be three consecutive pairs. The pairs have to be touching. So double six, double nine, double eight. Okay, I'll give you another example. You have one here, you have a double seven, a double two, another double seven, a three, and a one. So right now, our three consecutive pairs is a double seven, double two, and a double seven, and they're touching. There's no other digits in between them. Okay, that's what three consecutive pairs is. So if you look at this one here, you've got two ones, two threes, and actually three ones here and a four. Okay, so this here would be 1, 3, and 1. Now the good part is you actually have 5 ones within the serial number of this bill here. Okay, that's a 5 of a kind. If they were touching, that would be 5 in a row, but it's 5 of a kind. So, okay, that's what we have now. I'm going to flip this over because I actually have them double-sided in an effort to save paper. Green, they're always telling us, you have to go green. You know, when the grants come out, then I'll do green. All right, so with this note here, this is a bit of an older note right now. This is it's actually a Series B 2013. Okay, and this note here is a 00, 99, 33, a 7, and a 2. So all of these doubles are touching. There's no other individual number that's actually here. Okay, with this bill here, we've got the 1, 4, and 1. Now the cool part is this is actually in the middle of the bill, and then you have two different digits on the outside of it. Okay, which is definitely pretty cool to actually have. I think this bill is cool. Okay, with this one here, we have a 99, 22, and a 77. So the doubles are here and they're touching. The pairs must be, if they're not touching, you can't consider it a three consecutive pair note. Okay. Now, again, I think these notes are cool with the way that it's actually printed and the numbers actually line up, because you don't really find a lot of cool bills out there when you really think about it. Many serial numbers on the dollar bills aren't fancy at all, right? Like this one here, you have a 44 and then 4 6s and then an 8 and a 5. So right here, you actually have a solid quad where you have 4 of the same digit that is touching. Okay, it has to be touching. Now this is actually pretty cool to me to actually find this out there, right? And I have a lot of these right now. So what I did is that I actually made a chart list. I have 56 notes of three consecutive pairs, which are pretty cool. Okay, this one here, 22, 00, and a 55. Okay, and they're all touching here right now. Okay, we got an F note, we got an L. Now, this is a $2 bill. I rarely get these unless I go to the bank and actually have to special order them. You can special order them from a bank. The bank will tell you, depending on the bill and denomination, it will take about a week to get them. So if I went to the bank and I requested for 10,000 $1 bills, I might have to wait a week or 2 weeks in order to actually get it. But again, it will come because it's your money and you're pulling it out of your account. Okay, very simple. With this one here, we have a 66, 00, and a 44, a 9, and a 3. So all of these doubles are touching, and they always have to be double here. With this note here, 88, 55, and a 66. Which is definitely pretty cool, right? And I like these bills because one of the things I realized, if you're into fancy serial numbers, that it actually changes your brain. For those of you who've been doing this a long time, you realize you start to look at numbers a bit differently, and your memory actually changes a little bit when it comes to that. You start to scrutinize most of the bills you get, even in change every day, which is pretty interesting. So again, like, it's one of the things about this is really cool to actually see what's on the money, because you never know what you find. right? And that's the one cool thing about this. You don't know what you're going to get in a store. You don't know what you'll get in a bill search. It's one of the coolest things to actually have. And also you can keep it and definitely trade it. For some people, they play poker with it right now. They consider it lucky cash. If you do that, hey, congrats. Some guys in the military consider it lucky when they do that. So we have a double seven, double two, and a double eight, a double three, double zero, and a double four. With this one here, it's a nice one, double seven, double eight, double three, right? And then we have a double eight, double one, double six, which is actually pretty cool here. So again, I like these ones here, and I do have a lot of them. Now, some of the bills aren't really in good condition, like you'll have some smears here. Do not know what this one was right now at all. Don't know what that smear is. Another thing to do is try not to clean the bills, leave them as they are. I've heard a lot of people trying to use like rubbing alcohol on bills. Please don't do that. Leave the bill in the condition and just send it to PCGS down in Florida, who can actually grade the bills for you. Don't try to do anything like that. Let the professionals do the work. Okay, because you have people out there actually researching on bills, and they do know what they're talking about. For me, when I got involved in this, I will admit I saw a video from Kingdom Currency, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and I started collecting it. And then I started looking at other channels, and I'm like, damn, I thought this guy knew what he was talking about, because he said he was the what do you call it? He was one of the world experts on fancy serial numbers or so. In doing that, because he had one of the largest collections. He has an eBay page. He talks to people who grade bills, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about right now, right? And then he mentioned a Silverhound channel. That's another expert, to check them out. And I was like, okay, so you have a network of people who know what they're talking about. Congrats on that right now, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, again, you want to do your research right now with it, because some of the information can be confusing, but you never know what you find. And at the same point in time, when I started this channel, I just got into it because I thought it was fun, to actually have these bills. But when you do research, you're going to get surprised by a couple of things. Certain bills don't really have value when you actually have it right now. Like some of these bills here, 3 consecutive pairs. I saw one that sold for $1, and I saw another one that sold for $5, right? So again, if someone basically said it's worth $3, it's like, all right, great, I'll give you the bill right now. Give me $3 for it. Simple, right? Again, if somebody wants to pay you for it, that's them. If you want to keep it, hey, keep it. For me, I like keeping the bills because I like the numbers, right? Which is a cool thing that I've always definitely liked, is that looking at the numbers of bills, because it's a cool thing to actually see right now with that. So again, for this channel, I will be showing you guys different bills that I have in my collection. If you guys want to buy something, you can. If not, you don't have to. Again, my one thing for this is just do your research and definitely look into a few things right now. You never know what you actually find out there right now, which is pretty cool. For me, I have my bills that I basically have, and I'll be showing you guys my collection. You're free to comment below. I try to keep the negative comments to a minimum. Now, there were some issues. Some person was spamming some Bitcoin in the comments about buying Bitcoin in a wallet. I can't help you with that. You have to contact Coinbase if you want. They're talking about sign up with them to get free Bitcoin. I was like, well, I don't think Bitcoin is free, but it's weird. This channel of YouTube is very weird. But again, with what you find, definitely do your research. There's a lot of cool bills out there, and you can definitely find a lot. If you find bills that are matching, that's also cool. You can definitely end up making a channel about it, letting other people know what you actually have. But this collection that I have here is 3 consecutive pairs, and I like it because you find cool bills. Like this one here is 4 ones in a row, 2, and then a 4 at the end. I was like, wow, look at that. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 4 is 8. And I got 4 quads right here. I was like, oh, this is a cool bill right now. I used to be a math teacher back in the day. I'm getting old now. But anyways, like something like this here, right? You got 4, you got 8, you got 6, and you got 2, right? So this to me is an all evens note. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think it's cool. You know, I was like, oh, I'll definitely keep it. Like something like this. You have a triple 6, you have a double 8, and a 4 right here. And I was like, oh, you got a doubles note. I was like, I want to keep it. And that's basically it. Again, it's up to you guys if you want to keep the notes you find. You don't have to. For me, I definitely like keeping them because they're cool notes. And I basically just show them to you guys of what you can actually find out there. So again, there are cool notes out there. You don't have to sell what you basically have. I like my notes and I basically intend to keep it. That's basically it. All right, guys, that's basically my collection for you that I actually have here right now. And that's basically it. I'll show you guys a few more notes that I actually have. Have found some cool notes the other day, including some true binary notes, which are absolutely cool. The prices online on eBay are insane. You know, I used to see them for $20, and now they're like $50 online, and you can't beat some of these people who are bidding on it. They got money. All right. And that's basically it. Hey, listen, you guys have a great night out there. Questions, comments there. Let me know in the comment section. United Currency Coin and Crypto out.